Today we want to look at how to calculate for variance in statistics when group data is given. There is a question here, and let's see how we can analyze the question and solve for the variance. All right, we have a data here. We have height, we have frequency, and the height is given in intervals, that is from 60 to 64, 65 to 69, 70 to 74, 75 to 79, 80 to 84, with their respective frequencies as we can see here. So this data or this information given, we can call it group data because it's with intervals as we can see. All right, let's see how we can calculate for variance. First of all, before you can calculate for variance, you need to know the formula. And the formula for variance is given as the standard deviation squared, all right, equal to summation of f times x squared all over summation of f minus the mean squared. And before you can find the mean, you also need to know the mean formula. And the mean formula is given as summation of f times x all over summation of f. This symbol we can call it sigma, but in mathematics it means you sum all of what f times x. All right, so with we knowing our formula for variance, now let us see how we can get the numbers and fix into the formula. So first of all, we look at the table. We need to construct a frequency table to get our numbers. So the height is given as we can see here. So in the table you are constructing, you need to present your height with your intervals. The frequency too is given, so we need to also present our frequency in the table. We also need to find our x, all right? And to find the x from group data, when intervals are given, we need to find our midpoint, and we can call it class midpoint or midpoint. And the midpoint is represented by x. Again, we need to find our f times x. So in the table, you also need to bring f times x, as we can see. And we also need to find f times x squared. So in the table, we need to bring f times x squared. So this is how the table look like. In some questions, you can also bring x squared. You can include x squared in your table, but we can also go straight like this. All right, so let us see how we can find or we can complete our table. So we have our height, we have our frequency. Let us see how we can get our midpoint. So the midpoint is obtained from our class interval, as we can see, or the interval given here. So to get a midpoint for 60 and 64, first of all, we add our 60 to 64. The result answer, you divide it by 2, and that will give you 62. You do the same thing for 65 and 69. So you take your calculator or whatever device you are using, 65 plus 69. Whatever you get, you divide it by 2 to get your midpoint, which will give you 67. You do the same thing here, 70 plus 74. Divide by 2, you get 72. 75 plus 79. You divide it by 2, you get 77. 80 plus 84, you divide by 2, that will give you 82. So this is how we can get our midpoint when intervals like this are given. All right, let us see how we can get our f times x, that is f of x. All right, here it means we are going to multiply our frequency by our midpoint. So our frequency here is 7. So 7 times 62, you are going to have this. 6 times 67, you have this. 5 times 72 will give you 360. 8 times 77 will give you this. 4 times 82 will give you this. Then that will give you your f times x, as we can see it here. We also need to get our f times x squared. All right, sometimes in the table you can create a column for x squared. Sometimes you can go straight, so you can use any of them. All right, so you are going to square your midpoint, which is x. So first of all, you square 62. Whatever you get, you multiply it by your frequency, which is 7. Then you have the result answer here. 67 squared, whatever you get, you multiply it by 6. Then you are going to produce that. 72 squared, whatever you get, you multiply it by 5. Then you get this. You square the 77 times 8, you get this. You square 82 times your 4, you get this. Then you can get your f times x. Now, in the formula, we need to find summation of f, which means we need to add all the frequency. As you can see, 6 plus, we have, let's say, 7 plus 6 plus 5 plus 8 plus 4, and that will give us 30. With the formula too, we need to sum the whole of f times x. So we sum everything here, as you can see, and that will give us 2140. The formula to is saying we should sum all of what? F times x squared. So we sum everything here, and we are going to get 154090. So all these things must be part of the table, all right? All right, with we getting these values, first of all, with our variance, all right, which is the standard deviation square equal to summation of f of x squared over summation of f minus the mean, which means we need to find the mean, all right? And our mean is given as summation of f of x all over summation of f. So the summation of f of x is what we get here, so we put it. Summation of the frequency is what we get, we put it, so we divide. That is 2140 by 30, and we are going to get our mean, all right? So with we getting our mean, we are going to fix it here. So we have our mean here, which is 71.33 all squared. We sum all f of x squared, and when we sum, we have this number, we fix it here. We sum frequency, we put it here. So we divide. When we divide, we have this. When we square 71.33 squared, we have this. After that, what do? We subtract this number from this, and that will give us this number. That is 47.9361. But don't forget that we have been asked to leave our answer in 1 decimal place. So in 1 decimal place of this, we are going to have 47.9 to 1 decimal place. So this is how we can calculate for variance when group data is given. Thank you.